Welcome back, everybody. It's Sarcasm Speaks. Jared and Bob here with you again on a wonderful Thursday for you guys. It's still Sunday night for us. It's episode 2 here. So to open up, I wanted to run with something that I thought was pretty funny, I guess, in a kind of a fucked up way, I suppose. So there was a letter that was provided to I think President Biden from a bunch of interns at the White House. So, and it was so I'll read the information here. So, a letter signed by 40 White House interns demanding a Gaza ceasefire was written by someone allegedly outside of the administration. This is from Politico. So Politico reported. On December 5th, NBC News reported that a group of 40 plus White House interns had sent a letter to President Biden demanding a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. And this is a quote from the letter. "We will no longer remain silent on the ongoing genocide of the Palestinian people," it said. The letter was widely reported as showing dissent within the Biden administration over its policies towards Israel. Yet now it appears that the letter may have been written by someone outside the administration. So I know we spent a majority of the last episode talking about, the Harvard Penn stuff and people going against, Israel and Jews, and we have more pro-Palestinian support from the interns. But so they submit this letter, and now it turns out this letter might not have actually been written by any of the actual interns. So, per screenshots that were viewed by Politico, a person named Thara Nagarajan mysteriously joined a group me channel that was used by White House interns. This is the quote from Nagarajan. "Hi, all. As the genocide of Palestinians continues, there's a public letter for White House interns to sign anonymously for those who stand with Palestine. She gave them until 6 p.m. that day to sign the form and then immediately left the group chat." The White House interns have since told Politico that Nagarajan is not an intern at the White House, and it is unclear how she gained access to the group chat. "I don't know who that is or how that ended up in the group chat," one of the interns who signed the petition told Politico. "They're not even part of our group, and they're not even a White House intern to begin with." So this is hilarious. If this doesn't further show you how dumb young people are, some random person gets into I'm assuming, what did I say, group WeChat or whatever the fuck. It sounds like one of those like external group text things, like a Telegram or what's the one Facebook owns, WhatsApp. Sounds like any one of those, right? Some random person gets into the group chat of a bunch of interns at the White House and goes, "Hey, so everything in Palestine is bad, right? We support Palestine." "Yeah, yeah, yeah, of course. All right, cool. Sign this letter, and we'll get this letter off." "Okay, I'll just sign it. No problem. I won't ask any questions." And then the letter gets delivered to the president. And then all the interns that signed it were like, "Well, yeah, I mean, I know I signed it, but like the person that sent it to me like isn't an intern." So like now that it's out and it became public, they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't know who that person was. I don't know how they got into the group chat." Did you not think to use any critical thinking before you signed it? You know what I mean? See what I'm getting at? Where like these stupid interns were like, "Oh yeah, of course I'll sign this because we support Palestine." And then it becomes public that they signed it. And they're like, "Well, I mean, the person that made me sign it, it doesn't even work here. So I don't even know how that happened." It seems like a skirting of responsibility to me.
Yes. That's like what an intern would do.
Yeah.
like back them up. Like they backed the like yeah, backed into a corner. They don't know how to like handle themselves because they're fucking interns.
Yeah. But like, why sign it in the first place then? If you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like, if I don't know.
No, because all it is backpedaling. Like if they actually feel that way, fine. I'm also like I'm confused here. Like who gives a fuck about interns?
Yeah, I
Like
truthfully don't know. I just, like I said, I just think it's a funny story
they're stupid fucking interns. Like who
that
gives a shit what they think?
someone hacked into a group text of a bunch of interns at the White House, duped them into signing a letter to support Palestine, and then sent that letter to the president. And now they're all freaking out, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's like, well,
Dumbass shouldn't have signed a letter.
don't sign the fucking letter then. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
Like you signed it.
Yeah,
Like if you didn't want to do it, then don't do it.
right, right. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
funny to me. I got a chuckle out of it when I read the
Yeah.
story.
Well, again, they're fucking interns. So it's like, for me, it's like a whole nothing thing. I'm sure people are making like such a big deal about it.
Oh yeah, probably. Well, I think I'm just postulating here, but I think the big thing was um the dissent, right? Because the White House has been pro-Israel, and now these 40 plus interns are, allegedly pro-Palestine.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I
But
don't
again,
trust
to
that a
your
lot of them.
point, who gives a fuck about what the
Yeah. Who
interns
gives a
think?
shit?
You're an
Like,
intern.
did they fucking mop the floors today?
Yeah, did they go get the fucking sheets of paper off the copier?
What's another thing? What does a White House intern even do? Do they like give the tours? Do they set up the velvet ropes? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
who, like, what is their role? Because I'm sure it has nothing to do with running the country.
I am positive that it has nothing to do with running the country.
I love that White House intern. They might be fucking tour guides, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I can't believe the White House interns. Dude, that kid just fucking vacuums the purple room. Like, that's all he does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Idiot. Whatever.
A White House intern.
Like, I give a shit.
Yeah. So, um, on a better note, and a more interesting note, I should say, better to some people, depending on who you talk to, but um, Oklahoma, the state, uh, has not quite banned, but has defunded, so in a way it's kind of banning anything that has to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion that is involved in public agencies and universities. So this comes from Roca. Shout out to Roca. Again, another plug for those guys. Um, on Wednesday, so this was last Wednesday, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt passed an executive order calling on all state agencies and institutes for higher education to initiate a review of DEI positions, departments, activities, procedures, and programs. The end goal is to, quote, eliminate and dismiss non critical personnel, it said. The order also denied state funds to anything that grants, quote, preferential treatment based on one person's particular race, color, sex, ethnicity, or national origin. It also blocked funds from any organization that promotes DEI training or requires adherence to any political ideology, mandatory DEI statements, or pronouns. The rules are effective immediately. However, organizations have months to adhere to them. So this is a quote from the governor. Diversity is an asset that shouldn't be abused to advance a political agenda, he said after the announcement. He also wrote that funds should be decided based on criteria such as income, not race. The funds meaning like for universities. Um, Separately, Republicans introduced other anti DEI bills in the legislature. Others expressed dismay over the move. Similar to the last episode, you see a theme here. The University of Oklahoma's president wrote to students, quote, "This news evokes deep concern and uncertainty about the future, and in many ways feels like a step backwards." So you have another president of a university that's all bought into this fucking liberal foo-foo DEI culture. Oh no, if we remove DEI, it's there's going to be racism again. Not realizing that DEI in and of itself is racist, which is what the governor of Oklahoma said. He was like, we're not going to give preferential treatment to anybody based on their color, race, sex, orientation, whatever, whatever, yada, yada.
I'm sure that went over well in Oklahoma.
I'm sure it actually did.
No, 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 from the president, sorry.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that people in Oklahoma really stand by the president of OU. Yeah, I don't think so. I feel like most people in Oklahoma were like, fuck yeah, this is what we need.
Yep.
A lot of people around the country are actually celebrating this, saying this is exactly what needs to happen. Because it is racist, right? To promote or provide preferential treatment to somebody based on their race, again, ethnicity, sex, sexual orientation, whatever. Like that's not cool.
Yeah, and it seems like everyone hides behind it because it's gone so far, like one way. Like, was like honestly, is this just like affirmative action without like just repackaged almost? I guess
Um,
not, because affirmative action was more like hiring and
yeah,
admissions, whatever. But it's just like one of those things like we're gonna be so not racist by like, just doing everything for everybody else. Hence
yeah.
the all white Christmas party. The no
The
white Christmas party.
non-white Christmas party. Yeah. Yeah.
Thus leaving one Christmas party being all white people.
Right.
But right, I'm the idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I love this. I love the movement here of, this DEI as a theory is fine, right? But I mean, as
I mean,
as does
communism sounds good on
right. I
paper
was just
too.
gonna say, as goes the old saying, like, on paper, communism is great, right? Like on paper, DEI programs sound great, but like what they're actually doing is not great. Like I had to go through a little bit of DEI training, like at my last job, and it was like, what are we doing? Are we for real right now? Like this is really what we're doing, huh? And it was like the dumb shit that we make fun of on this show all the time about like we're going to start the meeting by acknowledging that this land doesn't belong to us and that it belonged to the Wampanoag tribe and whatever. And it was all this and that. And it's like, okay, who do you think the Wampanoag tribes? I know we've done this whole shtick before, but it's like, who do you think was there before the Wampanoags, right? Like they fucking took it from someone else. Like,
Fine, give it back.
right? That's what I say, right? That we've done that before. I said, give it back then.
If it's that important, give it back.
Yeah, give your house back. You don't need your house. Your house, you can't live in a house here in Massachusetts because
Oh,
this
belong
land
to
was
somebody.
once belonged to someone else. Well, it's different. That's just like the fucking presidents in the hearing, right? Well, it's more complex than that when it actually involves something going against them directly. It's like, well, there's more to it. But when it's someone else, it's like,
Well, we're not just gonna like start giving stuff
yeah,
back.
yeah. We're just acknowledging. We're not doing. We're just
Right.
acknowledging.
You're not, yes, and by acknowledging, you're not doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You're just a fucking satire of yourself.
So, I mean, I'm all for this anti-DEI stuff. But people's panties are going to be all up in a bunch over this because they're going to
Just
say, if you get rid of DEI, there's going to be all kinds of racism and they're going to start lynching again. And it's like, okay, when did DEI come out? In 2015? Were there lynchings in 2014? Because,
I believe it was still legal in Mississippi at the time. Yes.
well, yeah, that aside. Um, but yeah, wasn't that like 2018 that
I don't know
Mississippi
when they got rid
finally?
of it, but
Yeah, they
it was
finally
legal for a
outlawed it.
long time.
It was legal for too long. But like those people, like with their fucking extreme sayings or whatever, it's like, well, dude, what's going to stop people from doing this? Dude, what were people doing in 2014? Because it seemed to me in 2014, people were living their lives fucking great. Everyone was having a fucking grand old time. There was no fucking, you know, racist fucking accusations and all this kind of shit, right? Like all over the place. It was, yeah, man, it's fucked up. Sometimes there's some school shootings and sometimes there's, people that attack other people. But it wasn't immediately like, well, they attacked that person because they're black or that's a racist motivated attack. It's like, why is that your go-to?
People have too much time on their hands.
Yeah. And it's not to say that those don't exist, right? Like obviously there
All
are,
exists somewhere,
yeah, it
but
it
with
all exists
certain
somewhere.
people.
But like just to apply that as like a, painting with broad brushstrokes, right? To be like, well, it's all racist, right? It's everything is racist now. The meme where it was like scientists warn that by like 2030 we'll run out of things to call racist.
Could be a problem.
Yeah, it's a great meme. But that's basically what it is, right? Milk is racist now. Remember we did that. We did that
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago. So, I saw the other day someone said, I think Vinny put this in our group, in our Twitter group actually, that someone is coming out and claiming that wind power, so like clean energy, right? There's a big push for clean energy.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
So everyone's like, oh, we need clean energy. We need windmills, right? Because windmills are clean energy. We're not burning fossil fuels because, fossil fuels equal bad and climate change equal bad. And, we're all going to die if we don't change the climate. So let's put some windmills out there and use some wind turbines to produce energy. Well, now people are coming out and saying that wind turbines are racist because wind powered the sails of the ships that brought the slaves from Africa to the United States. Hold on. Wait a second. Let me repeat that in case you didn't hear that correctly. People are legitimately saying that wind turbines are racist and that wind power is racist because wind went in the sails of the ships that brought slaves from Africa to the United States. That is real, folks. That is real.
So the source of that was the final four of the worst tweets, either of the year or ever, or something. I don't know. I don't know who's doing it. Johnson, someone Johnson. I don't know. They were doing the worst tweets of the year.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, someone said that.
Yep. There
Wind,
are
wind,
people that
wind, wind,
legitimately believe
wind
that.
powered the transatlantic slave trade.
Therefore, wind generated electricity is racist.
Yes.
Wind is racist. You know what? On a golf course, I would support that. I'd be like, yeah, no, we need to get rid of all wind on the golf course, unless it's a tailwind. Then the wind can blow as a tailwind as much as it wants, but no headwinds, no crosswinds. So no, we're getting rid of those. Wind is racist.
What's next? Rain? Because snow is already racist.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did that last year.
Yeah, snow is racist. Uh, light is racist. Wind.
Yeah. Is the sun racist yet?
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
The sun might actually be anti-racist. Well,
Nope, nope. The sun's got to be
the
racist
sun
because
is
hey,
racist.
what do you think allowed people to work in the fields in the beginning of time?
Well, that's true. What I was going to say
What do you
was
think causes crops to grow?
the sun is racist against white people because it burns white people's skin, but it doesn't burn
No,
dark colored skin.
no, it's not.
You
What do you think allowed for slaves to work in the fields?
know what we really need to
If they
do?
didn't have sunlight, they wouldn't have worked in the fields.
Speaking of this working in the fields, what we really need to do is start a petition that's saying that standard time is racist and daylight savings time is the way to go. Whichever, I forget which one is which, but whichever
We want to be in daylight
we want to
savings.
be permanent daylight savings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we're in standard time now and it
Okay.
sucks.
Yeah, and it sucks. So we want
And
permanent
it's dark
daylight
in the morning.
savings. So we need to start a petition that standard time is racist.
Do we have a platform for that or should we just say it?
Do we need one?
Usually you need at least a bad reason.
We'll tie it to slavery, like you said, the sun being up during the day and the amount of time in the field, and so therefore,
Standard time made them go to work earlier.
yeah, yeah, there you go. It created inopportune work hours. I don't know. It doesn't need to make
I don't
sense.
know. I don't know how to do this.
None of these people's
I
arguments make
need
sense.
I need a brain dead moron to come up with why it would be.
Yeah.
Because
Standard
I'm
time
just
is racist. We need to make daylight savings permanent. You heard it here first, folks. Just start telling people. I might just start saying that in casual conversation if it comes up, like, "Oh, daylight saving. Oh, well, man, I can't wait for daylight savings time. Oh, why? How come? Well, I mean, standard time is racist. Don't you
so
know that?"
racist.
Which is hilarious because we can get away with saying shit like that because we live in Massachusetts because it's so fucking liberal here.
Oh, and people will believe us.
People will be like, "Oh yeah, oh wow." I guarantee you, if you said that in a group of people, at least 4 out of 10 people would blindly agree with you. They would not question you. 40, I would say 40% of people in Massachusetts, if you just said that in casual conversation that standard time was racist, they would blindly agree with you and be like, "Oh yeah, of course it is."
So here's the nonsensical argument as to why it's the reason standard time's racist is because it would force laborers to get up earlier and get to work earlier. And who historically was like the most famous of laborers.
Right.
So there you have it. That's what we're going with. Because anyone with a fucking brain would realize that the sun's up for the same amount of time that the sun's up for.
Right, right,
I just prefer that it doesn't set at 3:45
right.
or whatever it's at now.
Yeah.
We're getting close. The shortest day of the year.
Yeah. It's the 21st.
It's actually probably by the time this comes out.
Yeah, it would be today when this comes out, right? This comes out on Thursday. So that's shortest day of the year, and then thank fucking Christ, every day after that gets a little bit longer
4:15 sunset.
on the 21st. And when does the sun rise? Like 6:50.
I don't know. It's late now, which is kind of crazy because all those child abductions must be happening. The sun doesn't rise on Thursday until 7:10.
Yeah. 7:10 to 4:15.
That's so bad, dude.
Yeah.
That's like that. So the sun only comes out for a work day with fucking lunch.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. If you
Ni-
work 7 to 4,
9 hours.
if your work day is 7 to 4,
That's Michaela's shift.
that's it. You only get the sun on your lunch break. That's fun.
So stupid.
Yeah. Isn't that fucking awesome?
It's the
Standard
best.
standard time is great.
It's awesome. It's the best.
Yeah. No, standard time is for sure
And that's
racist.
the thing is like people are like, oh, it's dark for the commute. It doesn't come up until 7 fucking 10.
Yeah.
Get to fucking work,
Yeah.
peasants.
Yeah, it means daylight savings. It would be 8:10.
It would be 8. So it's still the same amount of sunlight. So truthfully,
Right.
it has
So it would
nothing to
be eight
do.
ten, but it would be until 5:15.
Right.
So at least you could maybe get a little bit of sun when you get out of work at 4. If you get out of work
If
at
you get out of
4.
work. Yeah, well, that's the thing is that people are like, oh, I don't get out of work or whatever. It's like, yeah, don't worry. You're
Yeah.
preaching to the fucking crowd here
Yeah. Yeah, the guy
because
that goes to work at 5 a.m. and works until 8 p.m.
I'm like, yeah, that's my thing. I'm 6 to 6 most days.
Yeah.
So yes, I don't. I mean, I see the sun. Don't worry, I got windows, but and then oh, I get to go get coffee at 7:40. Sunlight, fucking 28 degrees outside.
Yeah, I was
It's
just gonna
awesome.
say, but it's too cold to actually be outside.
Yeah,
And then the like, especially this time of year, the only time it gets like actually warm is because it's raining,
pretty
right?
much.
Like today, I think, and tomorrow, I think tomorrow might be like 58 degrees, but it's gonna fucking pour rain all day.
Awesome. That's just great. That's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I love those days.
That's what happens in New England in December, January, and February. The only time you're going to see temperature in the 50s is because it's raining. With like the rare occasion, like we do get like the past couple of years, I feel like we've gotten that one day either in like December or January where it's like 70 degrees, which is kind of nice. It just what was it. I mean, time doesn't make sense to me anymore. It could have been 6 years ago. It could have been 10 years ago. It was legitimately 75 degrees on Christmas Day in Boston.
Honestly, dude, that might have been fucking like 9 years ago at this point.
Yeah,
I
I
have
have no
I have
idea.
no clue.
But I mean, you remember it, right?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
remember going to Christmas dinner wherever I went wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
yeah,
I think I went to my uncle's house.
stupid.
Yeah, 75 degrees on Christmas Day. And then I think it snowed like 3 days later.
Probably did.
But there was a day, I think it was February this year, where it was like 67 degrees because I golfed. I remember I played at Heather Hill.
There was also a day in February where it was like fucking -5 because I think that's when we toured the wedding venue.
Yeah. Weather in New England
I have
is
no idea what
fucking
the temperature
awesome.
was, but it was fucking cold.
Yeah. Weather in New England is great from Thanksgiving to St. Patrick's Day.
I mean, you're giving April a lot of credit.
Well, I mean, it's at least bearable, right? Like it's not good, but in April it could be like 40s, when 50s and shit rain, right? But like January, the high is literally going to be like 7 degrees. Like it, I fully expect to have a single digit high it multiple times in January and
Was
February.
was last year when it got we like it was just like fucking absolutely freezing every day.
Yeah. Last year was because it didn't snow,
But it
but
was like especially cold.
it was stupidly cold. Yeah.
I'm fucking moving.
Yeah. And then I got new windows put in this summer. So that means this winter is going to be fucking 65 degrees
I'm so beyond good with that.
every. So my oil bills.
Snowblower still work?
Yeah, I changed the oil a few weeks ago.
Good.
I fucking
Why
the
don't you buy a can't do it this year, it's too late. You should get like heating coils installed under the driveway,
yeah, yeah,
and then it'll like literally like you'll have your snowblower, you got your energy efficient windows.
yep,
We'll have coils under the driveway, they heat it up,
yep. Then all
and
of a
then
sudden we'll have a Florida winter.
wouldn't fucking hate it.
No, I wouldn't either. Yeah, but my oil bill was they fucking crushed me last year with the because we had old shitty windows that were drafty. They were like 25 years old. Um, so we got all brand new windows put in. I mean, we talked about it on the podcast in whatever that was, May. We got all brand new windows, and now this winter, I bet you it's not even going to be fucking cold.
Don't tease me.
Just like the year I bought the snowblower, it didn't fucking snow. You can't make it up, right? And I get it didn't really count because it was the end of the summer, but the end of this summer, I got the patio built, and this summer fucking rained every day.
Yep. I actually hope that happens. I think it's hysterical that it rained like every weekend. It makes people so mad.
Oh yeah, people get real mad.
Oh God, it's so good.
It's like what like who, I don't
What are
know.
you gonna
It's
do?
yeah, what are you
What are you
gonna
gonna
do,
do?
right? But then even particularly, right? Like I know me personally, like I like to golf, right? But like if it's gonna rain, it could rain every single weekend over the summer, and it wouldn't bother me that much because one, if it's warm enough, I'll still play in the rain, and two, I just play during the week. Like I talked about it on the show over this summer that I've refound my or rekindled my love for Twilight golf. Right, like I was doing. That's how I started playing again when we were living in Mansfield and Bridgewater. Um, and now I'm doing it again. I just had a job previously that I didn't really work that much, so I used to play golf in the middle of the day. And my job now, it's like I actually have to work, but like I can go to the golf course at 6 o'clock and walk 9 holes and be home by 7:30. Like I don't know, like all these people, because you do hear it a lot on the golf course, right? They're like, "Oh, I'm never gonna be able to play. It's raining every weekend." What's preventing you from playing during the week?
Yeah, I do think it's harder for some people, but I can't solve anyone's problems. I got no solutions. But I get a kick out of the people that like, you know, they look like so forward to like, oh, the weekend, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this. And it's like, then it rains and you can't do anything. And then they get like depressed and bummed out. I'm like, that could happen anytime, man.
Yeah.
Like, anytime. Like like we have like the wedding in June. Okay, it's not gonna snow, but like it could definitely be like a cooler day and raining and the weather could fucking suck.
Right.
And it could suck all week. Like, you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
June's usually okay, but it doesn't mean it can't not be okay.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also later in June too.
Yeah, it is.
So there's also a chance, there's probably equally a chance that it could be like 92.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Could be hot as ever living fuck. And
Like
it's like, oh,
if
bonfire on the beach, and it's still fucking 90 out.
if you told me that at the end of June there was a in New England, right, or Massachusetts in particular, that, could it would you be surprised if it was 56 degrees and rain? I'd be like, no, absolutely not.
Nope.
Just as not surprised as if the end of June in Massachusetts you were like, oh, it's going to be 96 degrees. It'd be like, oh yeah, I know. Like I feel like both of those are equally as likely.
Yep. Any of them could happen. But like, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, there's nothing you
It's
can
the
do,
weather.
right? It's just the
It's
weather.
just the weather.
People get so fucked up over the weather.
And like, yeah, okay, but like, and like, I get it. I'm not saying like it doesn't suck. It sucks, but like, have a fucking plan. I don't know. Like, I just don't
Yeah,
get. I don't know. I just don't get that. Like, maybe because I'm a fuck cynical asshole. Like, I don't plan shit. That's why. Like, I don't plan a fucking goddamn thing because it's like, one, I hate planning. Two, it might not be up to me.
right.
Like, oh, the third weekend of July, going to the beach. We're gonna make a day of it. Well, you don't fucking know that. Might
Right.
rain.
Yeah, it could rain.
And then what?
Could be 110. The third week in July could be 110.
Yeah, and it would be a wet heat, so it would probably feel like about a billion.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, just all over weather. I think that what it comes down to is people are dumb, right? Because even now, right? Like I know this, we're doing this on Sunday and it's coming out on Thursday, but like there's like a lot of rain and wind coming today through tonight through Monday tomorrow, and people are like, "You gotta be careful. You gotta watch out. Watch
Careful what?
watch out for the wind and the weather."
Watch out for the wind.
Yeah, well, the
Watch out for
wind
the
is
wind.
racist. The
I
wind
was
is
gonna say it's
racist.
it's gonna bring a steady stream of racism in.
Like, so who cares? I don't know. It's weird, right? And I know we make the joke all the time about like the bread and milk whenever it's gonna snow, but it's like, how long do you plan on being unable to go anywhere that you need this much
Well, dude, it's
stuff?
everything's gonna be the Blizzard of '78 when they were walking across rooftops to travel anywhere. It's the only way you could get around. You had to travel by roof.
Yeah, it's like it's I think it's funny that, like, I would love if we were like a more highly produced show and we got paid to do this, to go to a market basket or wherever, right? Like a stop and shop in Massachusetts on like a day or two before we're supposed to get snow, and just like actually like interview people and be like, hey, so like, how much stuff do you usually buy when you come to the store? Okay. Are you buying more now? Okay. How long are you planning on not being able to come back here for?
You gotta go to a Wegmans for that. Wegmans or a Whole Foods.
Because there's people that are literally like, oh, it's going to snow tomorrow. Oh, I got to go to the food store. Well, why? Do you have food in your house? Well, yeah, but I need more. That's literally what I would say. I'd be like, how long are you planning on not being able to get to the food store? But it's a thing, it's without fail. And I
Yep.
don't know, truthfully, if it's like this anywhere else. Like, obviously, it snows in the Midwest and it snows in like Montana and, Wisconsin. And like, I don't know what that part of the country's called. It's not the Midwest, it's just the fucking the middle north. It's southern Canada, basically. But like, do people in Idaho do that?
I don't think so.
Or is it just fucking people in New England that are like, oh, it's going to snow tomorrow? Because I feel like people in Idaho
Just deal with it.
would have common sense to be like, oh, how much snow are we getting? Oh, we're getting 4 inches. It's fine. Right. Like, that's the thing, is like, there's no common sense for the people around here because it could literally be 2 inches of snow or 2 feet of snow. And the day before that snow comes, the market basket, or where, the grocery store is going to look exactly the same. Like, if I went into a grocery store and took two pictures and put them side by side and said which one of these is before 2 inches of snow and which one is before 2 feet, you wouldn't be able to figure it out. You'd be like, I have no idea, that's the exact same picture. Because people here are just so fucking weird. They're so dumb.
Was there 78, man?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one time. That one time.
How many years
Fucking
ago?
40 years ago.
45 years ago?
Yeah, 45 years ago. 45 fucking years ago.
Travel by rooftop.
Yeah, once in the last 45 years, it snowed so bad that everything was shut down for a week and people literally did actually have to travel by rooftop once in
So they say.
in 45
How do you
years.
travel by rooftop? It's the most insane thing. The only way to travel is on the roofs. Do you fucking hear yourself?
I mean, it makes sense that it would work in a city like Medford because the houses are so close together.
No, it's so even Medford houses, they ain't that close. We're talking like
Yeah,
Cambridge, Somerville. Because still, it's like if there's that much snow, there's not zero on the roofs.
right.
How are you making that jump from
Yeah,
roof to roof? It's
yeah.
it's it's again, it's one of the most insane things I've ever heard. Oh,
Yeah.
you had to travel by rooftop. No, you didn't. Stop. Just stop. And then what happens when you get to an intersection? You're out of
Yeah.
houses. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but yeah, you got to get your bread and milk, and the fucking food stores are packed before 2 inches of snow.
I know I hate that shit. Like when like the day I have to go because I need to go,
Oh, it's the worst.
or
It's
like
the fucking worst.
it combines with a storm. It's like, oh
Yeah.
no.
Yep. Yeah, because I mean, I usually go food shopping on Saturday mornings, but like, if it's gonna snow anytime around then, I'll go on like Friday night. Like, I'll go like, if Market Basket closes at like, I think it's 9 o'clock, or it's 7 o'clock. No, it's 7 o'clock on Sundays, or 6 o'clock on Sundays. Whenever it closes, I'll go like an hour and a half before close on like a Friday night. It's just to avoid the fucking idiots.
Well, there's no avoiding the idiots.
No, I timed it out fantastically. Was that last weekend? Yeah. So not yesterday, but the previous Saturday. I think I was in and out of there. Well, the registers were busy because there wasn't. Yeah, I think I texted the group text that I was there at 7:15, and if it wasn't for only like six registers being open at that time, I would have been in and out of there in like 25 minutes.
That's the problem with going too early.
Right, there's not enough registers open.
There's a sweet spot.
Yeah.
It's like 9 a.m.
Yeah. You got to time it.
I also just don't give a fuck. I just go.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing too, is like, I know going in, like, I expect there to be a ridiculous crowd of people And then when there's not, I'm just pleasantly surprised. Right? Like I expect to go in there and deal with morons everywhere. And when I don't have to do that, it's just a nice little reprieve. Like I'd never once go in there and being like, oh man, I hope it's not going to be busy today. I've never once done that.
Nope.
Like, yeah, it's going to fucking suck today. And sometimes it does. And then sometimes I'm wrong and it's fine. And I'm like, oh, that was nice. But like that, I feel like that's how you just set yourself up for failure, right? And that's how you get pissed off all the time. And you're like, oh man,
Well,
I hope it's easy today. I hope I have an easy market basket trip today. And then
it's
you
funny
just
for
fucking get railroaded.
a guy that is pissed off all the time. The grocery store isn't one of those things.
Yeah. Because it's about expectation.
Yeah, and I expect it to be a fucking horror show every time.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of checking out before we wrap things up, I have a an update. So I don't remember when I did this, but I went on a rant a while ago about Target and the Target checkout situation, which I actually found myself in again the other day because I was at Target and one of the self checkout registers was down. So there was only, because they have four at my Target. So there was only three that were functioning. And there was only, of the 12 registers, like man powered registers, they had two
Sexist.
that had yeah, they had two, well,
It's
at least I didn't say
2023.
wind powered.
It's 2023. Women can operate registers too.
That's true. um so there were two human powered registers and then three self checkouts, not the four, and the line was absolutely fucking ridiculous that I stood in forever. But regardless, I went on a rant about that situation a while ago and I said either staff the fucking registers, right? Especially now because it's almost Christmas. We're getting, it's crunch time. Staff the fucking registers or scrap them and just put in more self checkouts, right? Like don't have four. It don't do it the opposite. Have four staff checkouts and have 12 self checkouts, right? Like this, just go that way if that's the way you want to go. Just make the fucking process easier. And I ranted about that and I'm pissed at Target and I'm still pissed at Target because I was there the other day and had the same situation. Well, a different day this week, I had to get to Lowe's just to grab some stuff at Lowe's. And I get everything I need and I go to the checkout area. And I am blown away that the Lowe's in North Attleboro no longer has any human checkouts. The checkout area is all self checkouts now. So I think it used to be four self checkouts and four human checkouts. It's now four and two. It's now 10. It's now 10 self checkouts. That's it. So if you want to check out with a person, you have to go all the way down to lumber because there's still some human, there's human registers. I think there's two or three of them down in the lumber section, or there's a customer service desk. And then obviously the garden checkouts are still human as well. But like of that like core checkout area in the middle of Lowe's, it's all self checkout now. And I was like, wow, they fucking get it. They like why am I going to sit here and have unstaffed staff required registers when I can just get rid of them and make them self checkout? So I want to give a shout out to Lowe's um, for actually using fucking common sense.
About time someone listened to you, right?
Seriously, right? I mean, I'm clearly right about this.
The answer was here the whole time.
All you had to do was listen to this show.
Yeah.
So whoever the
We're trying to
CEO of
make your
Target
lives
is,
easier.
yeah, I'm trying to help. All I'm trying to do is help. So whoever the CEO of Target is needs to fucking either listen to this show or talk to the CEO of Lowe's and figure it the fuck out. Because I'm also of the the mind of just make more self checkout, right? Because I know you're not going to hire more people to work the registers, so just get rid of them and make them self checkouts. Stop and Shop has kind of done that. They A lot of the Stop and Shops now have like the it's like a corral area basically, and there's like 10 to 15 self checkouts in like a square or like a
Yeah,
rectangle.
Walmart was doing that like years ago.
Yeah, Walmart did it first. Yeah, yeah. But a lot of the Stop and Shops do it that I go into do it now. Except the Stop and Shops still have, which Walmart does too, to be fair. They still have like 30 registers, or not
Yeah.
30, but you know what I mean? Like they still have like the 10 to 15 staff required registers that just sit empty. Or like two of them are open, but they have that corral area. So I don't know. I think that's just kind of the direction that you need to move in.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're not hiring people to do these jobs, so
Right. If you're not going to hire the people to be
have
on the register.
30 fucking self checkouts and 3 people working them. Done.
Right. Right. So, yeah, like I said, I wanted to just bring that up because it made me it made me happy inside when I saw that Lowe's got rid of their manual checkout registers. Well, on that note, you want to wrap this bitch up?
Yep. So probably remember there was a time where I did my thing, like, hey, I swore off making pasta forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we've gone a step further. 2 consecutive weeks have now made my own gnocchi. So we're full on. And I made my own pasta again today. I don't know. I think that's like the 4th time now. Maybe it's third. I don't really remember. It doesn't really matter. Uh, but gnocchi's funny because it's like it takes an extra step because you need to have potato.
Right.
I guess you could do ricotta, but
Yeah.
nah.
Potato.
I guess there's a time and a place. But anyway, but it's like way easier because you don't have to go through like the cutting process and like putting it through the machine so many times.
Right.
Um, and provided you don't do like the ridges or whatever, it's actually like super fucking easy. Well, kind of. It's way easier to cut it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still fuck it up, but not as easily. So yeah, pretty good for a fucking task that I swore off of. Now I'm like full, and I've probably made pasta like the last 4 consecutive weeks, and then gnocchi the last 2 consecutive weeks. It's like 6 times.
You're back on it. You're back on your bullshit.
So stupid.
Well, I mean, is it really that difficult in general? Like, I know, like, we were talking not that long ago, obviously, that it's a pain in the ass and it sucks and you swore it off and you said never again, but
Yeah,
you've
and here we are.
clearly done it. So is it really that bad?
Um, so I still stand by the cutting of the pasta takes some practice to make sure that you don't end up like smushing it and sticking together and all that crap.
You
That
just gotta
actually,
flour the shit out of it,
you
right?
got to flour the shit out of it, but you also like if you're going to use a maker, like the cutter has to be good on it. Like I don't trust the cutter on
Yeah.
my maker, so I don't use it. I just use a knife. So yeah, you just got to like flour the fuck out of everything and take your time, be patient. And it's like I will say, so it's like feeding it through the machine It's not really that hard, but like if you do have like a long piece, like you need to make sure it's not going to get bunched up, or if it's going to get bunched up, then it's like floured the right way. Like you just got to be careful of like shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, yes, it's time consuming, but it's not really that bad. But I will say, if you don't know what you're doing or you haven't been watching videos, you will fuck it up because it's like there is like just enough nuance to it in like certain things that you could, again, like you could fuck it up if you're like, if you don't know what you're doing. But I mean, if you watch enough of people making it, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Is there an attachment for the gnocchi or
No, so the gnocchi you just take. So if you have your disc of dough, you cut it, generally speaking, you cut it into fours. You make it into a roll,
okay.
and
And
then
then
you
you
just
just
cut the
cut the
roll.
you cut the rolls. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
And I don't shape it. Like
Yeah.
I don't put the ridges or the fork or anything like that. Fuck that.
Yeah, I
Waste of
mean,
time.
who cares? You're just gonna eat it.
Yeah.
Like you don't need it.
I don't need the ridges.
Yeah, I'm good.
Tastes
I
tastes tastes literally exactly the same.
yeah, yeah. I know what it is. I don't need the ridges on there to be like, oh, I wonder what this is.
Stupid.
Yeah, I feel like the stuffed pastas suck, right? Like the ravioli, the tortellini.
You know what's funny?
That's
I've
really it,
seen I've seen
actually.
well, okay, so I guess this is gonna move into another gripe. There are so many types of filled pastas that are all just the same in different shapes, but like everything has a different name. I'm like, this is fucking insane.
What else is there besides tortellini and ravioli?
Dude, like I'd have to like actually look up some of the names of all this shit, but like Cappelletti is like kind of tortellini, but like the center of it isn't hollow.
Oh,
So this is what I mean is like you if you had like ravioli and tortellini and like took or I guess it's a little more yeah, so I guess like if you took like if you want to make tortellini, you make a square, you fill it, then you make a triangle, close it over, and then you wrap it.
right.
Like Cappelletti, you make a circle, fill it, close it over, and wrap it. So it's like, dude,
Yeah,
it's the same thing, but yeah, it's like different shapes. And then like some people do shit to make it look like candy, like wrapped candy,
right,
and
right.
like they use different colors and stuff. So it's like some of it seems to be almost like food art
Yeah, yeah.
because I'm like, whether it's tortellini or cappelletti, they're both filled circular pasta. Like they're the same fucking thing.
Right, right.
And like if you take ravioli and you just like kind of make it smaller and then like do something weird on the end, like it's still fucking ravioli.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but like there's a name for fucking everything.
Right, right.
But yeah, I mean, again, like if you actually know what you like ravioli doesn't need to be so hard. Like I've been seeing like how some people do it, and there are certainly ways that are easier than others.
Yeah, because it's really just one sheet down. You plop the ricotta or whatever you're going to use to fill it, and then second sheet on top, and then you just kind of like roll and cut the fucking
Well,
things.
so in my opinion, that's the hardest way to do the ravioli because I've seen some people they take one sheet, drop all the filling, fold it over, and then like form everything and then cut everything.
Okay.
And then some people like they do some like kind of crazy shit. So it's like they cut out a square, fill it, put another square on top, and they just do it like kind of like one at a time. Now that's not an efficient way to do it,
Right.
but if you're doing like, you know, like a braised short rib filled ravioli, it's like okay, you just make it a little bit bigger and you just do it one at a time because you're only going to eat like
Right.
a
Right.
few of those.
Right.
So yeah, there's like people do it all types of different ways, but like one sheet on the bottom, one sheet on the top seems to be like the most difficult one because it's just because the sheets are so big, it just seems like it's the hardest one to work with.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah, just go to my Instagram explore and it's like all just like it because I spent like one night just watching people fucking make pasta and shit. And now it's like all it is.
It's awesome. Gotta love the algorithms.
Oh, it's crazy.
All right. Well, similarly, in relation to uh things you consume, my final thought is I saw this, I think it was an Instagram ad um for a new kind of vodka, which is Doritos flavored.
Gross. Absolutely not.
So allegedly, it tastes and smells exactly like red Doritos.
That's fucking awful.
And I can't think of anything more disgusting that would come from a vodka.
I am so fucking out on that.
And like in the post, it said like, oh, it would be great to use in like a Bloody Mary or something.
Nope.
And it's like, no.
It'd be great to use as fucking drain cleaner.
As a way to start a fire, right? Because it's
That's
as
awful.
it's proof, whatever it is, 80 proof or whatever it might be. But like, who who decided that that would be a good idea?
Yeah, like who determined that they needed that in their life?
Yeah, we need
And
Doritos
like
flavored vodka.
who hurt you?
Yeah. Yeah, who hurt you?
Like there's no need for that at all.
Yeah, I have no desire to ever try it. I
No,
would never spend money on it.
no way. Out.
Yeah. It might even be one of those situations if someone else had it and
I
was
don't
like,
even know if I try it.
"Oh, do you want to try this? Like, do you want to try a sip?" I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would. I don't need my vodka to taste like Doritos.
Yeah, I don't think I'm super interested in such a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm out on Doritos flavored vodka.
As am I. Fuck that.
I mean, other than a Bloody Mary or on the rocks, I have no idea how you would even
Fuck
consume
on
that.
the gross.
Maybe
So
with a
gross.
with a splash of Mountain Dew.
So gross.
Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Ugh. So nasty.
Yeah. So I don't know. I saw it. I thought it was hilarious. I figured I'd bring it up and I thought it would
Ugh.
be a good final thought.
Gross.
So yeah, no thanks. Well, that's going to do it for us. So thank you all for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to click subscribe up above, hit the like button down below. Help spread the word, tell everybody you know about the show. If you're an audio only guy, you can subscribe, whatever platform you're on. Um, Instagram is at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is Sarcasm underscore speaks. Facebook, Sarcasm Speaks. Go to the website, sarcasmspeaks.com. And then support all the sponsors in the show notes below. And that checks all the boxes. So until next time, good night, everybody.